You survived the most historic week in real estate since 2000 May. Good on you. Let's talk about what's going on and how we can use all these tools for your success. I'm Sam Hayes, and this is One Stop's weekly recap. I want to make sure you're familiarizing yourself with your tools. Right now, you probably have multiple different pieces of software that you either get because of your association memberships, you get through your different brokerages, you may have signed up for something and just really haven't utilized it. Now's the time to see what you can do to put to work to be a tool for you to make sure that it's helping you towards your success. If you're not using it, it's time to lose it. It's definitely time to do a reassess, take a look at where your income's going, and set up your budget for the next 6 months. We're going to have a lot of work ahead of us. The market's going to be shifting and doing different things. Still very successful, still a lot of opportunities, but it's a great time to take a breath right now and get ready for a lot of hustle and a lot of work ahead. Another thing, did you know that I found out recently was about the VA FHA loans that appraisal needs to be going over to the buyer, or excuse me, the seller side every single time, even if you cancel or don't cancel. It's in the contract, and it's something that we need to be addressing because of the items that could be called out in it. That does transfer no matter what with the cancellation, even if the cancellation is not based on the appraisal. Also, did you know that we can get a lot of different companies will pre-open your escrow? Why I'm encouraging you to pre-open your escrow is that it lets the escrow officer get you on their list. They can start doing some back work, like setting up, finding out about the HOA docs. How much are they going to cost to order? How many HOAs do they have to contact? Let's get the prelims started. Let's get the SI out of the way. That's a huge thing that needs to be happening, is getting that SI out of the way, because that can get cleared up so much stuff ahead of time. And we can be taking that during the listing period. The more we can preload and pre-set up, including the disclosures and letting the clients know to start looking for documents before they're all packed up into a storage unit, this is really going to make a difference in our files and really needs to be a practice we need to start focusing on. Another thing with that, if they do have trust or don't have trust, because of all the refis last year, you have to pull the property out of the trust, do the refi. People forget to put it back in. I have an amazing contact, Amanda Dawn Natalia, that I will happily share her information with all of you. I'm going to put that in my email below. She's an amazing trust specialist I've worked with for years, who can help your clients, if they don't already have a property in a trust, to move it into one. So what I'm bringing up is basically make sure you're contacting all of your clients. It's a great opportunity right now to reach out to them for mid-year, check how they're doing with the properties, and also remind them to check on their trust status or get a trust, because we know all the properties in Southern California are above the 166, 250 that I learned about in my probate class yesterday, that we want to make sure everything's in a trust situation so that families aren't going through probate and they aren't going through the challenges that I'm seeing on a couple of other files. It's a really big deal. I'm getting that certification on Monday for that class, along with taking an advertising class, which will have some new rules and regs to remind you of, including making sure your DRE numbers are on everything. If you put anything out in social media, that also needs to be a DRE number. So bottom line is, great time to check with your clients about making sure that their properties are back in the trust, or if they should get a trust. Also making sure you're putting your DRE number on everything and that you're using your tools. Also, is your website ADA compliant? That's a big thing that's coming up as well. I'm going to learn more about that on Monday in my class, and we'll be sharing my notes with you. We need to make sure you're checking all of your advertising. Your email blocks need to have your DRE number on them. Any Facebook posts need to have your DRE number on them. Your flyers, of course, any of your marketing, website, DRE number needs to be on everything. I want to make sure also, if following up about agreements for TC fees to be paid. If you are having your client pay my TC fee, we have to have in writing that they agreed to it prior to going under escrow. That can either be on the listing agreement, or it needs to be on a buyer broker agreement, but something needs to be signed, because that's what helps us with the RESPA issue, where it was fully disclosed to them prior to going to under contract. That's why it's such a big deal, is the potential RESPA exposure. If you need some help with that, if you need to let me know what you're doing about making sure how you want to disperse getting my payment done, that's not a problem. But I need to know as soon as possible, because otherwise it's always going to default to, you hired me, so that's who's paying my fee. Another issue I've been having come up a lot recently are two things, either on the seller multiple counteroffer or on the cancellation of contract. Remember, seller needs to sign Section 8, or that's not an accepted contract. With the multiple, you've gone out to multiple buyers, Seller has put out their counter to multiple buyers. Buyers have responded in Section 7. Now the seller needs to pick which one they want. Or the buyer gets to also counter them with a buyer counter offer. Section 8 is getting missed a lot. You only have to sign it if there's no other counter offer. But again, it's not executed without. Same thing on the cancellation of contract. Top of the contract, or top of the form, I should say, that's what cancels the contract. And make sure you're double checking the reasons. There's plenty of different reasons within the contract for cancellation. You don't want to be discussing why anybody's canceling. Again, does not have to be disclosed and is not something you want to be sharing for potential legality reasons. But simply marking mutual agreement typically is not the best choice. The bottom section is for releasing the deposit. If no deposit's given, we don't need the bottom signed. One of those fun things that everybody's still pushing for, but we need to remember the forms have changed. We don't want to be doing that. Looking ahead, we're at 6 months more or less in the year, and we're almost to the end of Q2. Where do you want to go this year? What can I be doing to help with your goals? I know my goals are to do more training, more videos, more connecting with my agents. I want to support and make sure that we're the most educated people on the planet. Especially about real estate, I should say. And I really just love talking about this and seeing the little different ways to help make your business go smoother, easier, and faster. I'm here anytime to talk. You can reach me at 619-993-7264. As always, verify everything with the broker of record. This was kind of the recap about this week in real estate. It's been crazy. I know it was historically changing, but I'm excited to see what's coming, and I so appreciate being on the team with you. Have a great day, and thanks again.